how I was unfairly jailed for the second time. Before I tell my story, please like, share and subscribe to this channel to get more interesting stories. My name is Josh. I might look okay, but deep down my world is crumbling down. I was sentenced for 5 years in prison for a crime I did not commit. Let me introduce to you my lovely wife Tara. Ooh, there she is. Beautiful, charming and always ready to please. I might warn you though, she has quite the attitude. So does our lovely daughter, the apple of my eye. Well, the apple does not fall far from the tree. Sir, can we focus on what brought us here? Said my lawyer. I have been in prison for 5 years. A crime I did not commit. Trying to fight for my justice. My wife visited me consistently for those 5 years and it really broke my heart to see her raise our daughter on her own. I did not want her to see me like this, so since then we had no contact until the day I was released. I was so happy and the only thing in my mind was going home to eat my wife's meals and finally meet my wife and daughter. Sadly, when I got home, the house was empty, driving me to make a quick phone call to my wife. She was like, "Baby, I am at the car hire store. I need to rush back to the office and then we can organize the trip we have been planning for the longest time possible." In a split second, I was at Clumper's car hire for hire, finishing the paperwork that my wife had started and boom, within no time the car was ours for the weekend. I rode it around enjoying the freedom I had been granted. Though, I can bet that there was a point I felt as if someone was following me. I was a bit confused, you know. Getting your freedom when you least expect is a miracle. A dream come true. There was me, on the tarmac, enjoying public property when a cop's car drove past me and signaled me to pull over. Sir, this cop was armed. How could I not have freaked out?
Josh, but am meant to understand that the last time your wife came to visit you both had an argument. Tell me about that because the guards had to separate the both of you and the CCTV cameras too, captured everything that happened on that day.
When Tara came by, she handed me a pregnancy test confirming she was pregnant. The argument was about her being unfaithful to me. She asked me for a divorce, claiming she could not handle the loneliness and according to her, she had found new love with some other guy. Note, I didn't sign any divorce papers. I was angry. And that's why I asked her to never come visit me in prison. But there is something else I left out. The day I was released, no one was home. And that's not it. Before I made the phone call, I had found a letter on the sofa. It was definitely Tara's handwriting.
What did the letter state?
The letter Tara wrote stated that Tara had moved out to live with her new guy, but she had planned a vacation for our daughter and I to catch up and have fun, since she didn't want our mistakes to affect our daughter too. That's why she hired a car that we would use, and asked me to go get it from the Clumpers since she was held up at work. And that's why I accepted to go pick the car from the hire store.
Did you inspect the car before driving it home? And lastly, were the workers there able to confirm that it was your wife who registered and hired it?
No, sir, lawyer. I did inspect the car. However, the workers there were able to confirm that it was my wife who registered the car through a picture I showed them. But they also mentioned a man who accompanied her who I'm meant to believe is her new guy. It made me boil and burn with anger that she had to include her furry guy in all our plans. And it was at that point, I took the car and drove away. A snap later, that's when the cop pulled me over. According to him, he had received an anonymous call that a criminal driving the car I had was roaming around town scot-free. I was bold enough to tell him, Just because I was in prison does not make me a criminal. I do not do people dirty. He looked at me suspiciously and drove away. A few minutes later, I was surrounded by a whole unit of city officers, all pointing guns at me. I felt so weak in my knees. I was reliving another nightmare of my life. I could not move, neither could I breathe. I wished the earth would open up and swallow me whole.
Like, share and subscribe for part 2 to find out why the cops were all over Josh.